What's up, sports fans? What's up, world? You are now tuned into the world's greatest MC Ron and his co-host.
Your guy, Zen on Ken.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. We are the sports podcast that always keeps it real about sports talk. And speaking about keeping it real about sports talk, we are in the NBA playoff season. And not only that, we are in the NFL draft season. The NBA playoffs is really the play-in games have already started. The playoffs are about to start in a few days. We start to get past these couple of other meaningless play-in meaningless playing games. It's meaningful for some
playing games.
Yeah.
Redundant play. No, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But we are also in NFL draft season. All right, the NFL draft is next Thursday, I believe. Next Thursday, so everything's, and we're also in WrestleMania season. Gotta get for all you professional wrestling fans. WrestleMania is this Saturday and Sunday, the two-night WrestleMania. I'll be watching in Albany. Huh?
Two-night WrestleMania?
Yeah, man. This two-night WrestleMania has been going on for about the past since WrestleMania 36. So yeah, the past 5 years right now. And it's fifth year they've done two. You've been
WrestleMania. I stopped watching wrestling in like 2012, 13.
See, that's when I started picking up watching wrestling again in 2011, and I've been consistent ever since. But anyway, but yes, a lot of things happening, especially for me. I'm excited. So this next week is going to be very exciting between WrestleMania, the NBA playoffs, and then the NFL draft. But let's go ahead and start out with the NFL draft talk. And me and you, KJ, have our mock draft 2.0. So it's, I know we usually, start, with, we first did 1 through 10, but we're about to do this whole podcast. We're going 1 through 32, baby. But we're going to first start out with the first 12. So, KJ, let's go ahead. Let's see who we both have for number one at the number one overall pick.
Whatever that draft music is.
Something like that.
Some pitch that I cannot mimic. Shoot. So who has number one? Is it not Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee, my last mock draft, I had them slated. They're getting Abdul Carter. Since then, Abdul, he's been great, in his off-season workouts and the combine and all of that stuff. I don't think he did a combine. But he's been great in the off-season and everything like that. But his only thing is his medical. He had a little shoulder injury and everything like that. He's probably going to start the season with. But he's still the one of two freakish athletes in this, one of three freakish athletes in this draft. And with that being said, Tennessee has a new offensive coach. MC Ron, you hate rookies being with defensive coaches, especially first years. So with them having an offensive head coach and them needed to drastically turn their franchise around because Will Levis is not it, they are going with the black Ben Roethlisberger, aka
the black
Cam
Ward. Yeah.
Who y'all got?
Well, I have.
I'm dead. There it goes.
I found the chart. No. But seriously, I agree the same thing. Cam Ward. The last time we did a mock draft 1 through 10, I had Cam Ward. I have not gone back off that. No matter how much the Tennessee Titans want to gaslight you into thinking they're going to do something different. They're not. I promise you, they're not. So yes, they are going to draft Cam Ward. All right. So who do we have at number 2, KJ?
At number 2, since the Tennessee Titans did not go big on defensive end / edge rusher, I'm going to have Cleveland going here. So basically, I'm going to have Abdul going here to Cleveland. So basically, last time I had them having Hunter, which is a very, very, you can't sneeze at that pick. Like, that man is top 5 in both of the positions he plays in this draft. But I just feel as though Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett is going to be the nastiest pass rush combination we've seen in a long time. Okay. And when you have quarterbacks in your division like Lamar Jackson, the Bengals offensive line is not really that great, so you don't really need 2 bookends, but the fact that you got an extra one makes it a lot harder for the Bengals to beat you now.
Exactly.
And whoever the Steelers decide on taking the helm at their quarterback. So I think they go ahead and book that up for the next 10 years.
Yeah. So for me at number 2, I have got. Okay, we'll stop. That's my last time.
You're gonna get us in trouble, man.
I know.
For the NFL.
I know. Please, no. But I got also them selecting Abdul Carter. They are not short, even though they need a quarterback. They are not sold from what we're hearing, or it may be a smokescreen. But they are not sold on Shedeur, so just might as well get the best, honestly, in my opinion, the best player in the draft. Yes, I am a Penn State fan, so yes, this is some biasness going in there. So yes, the best player in the draft, Abdul Carter. Let's go. All right, who do we have? The Giants pick at number 3. Who do you got, KJ?
Well, it's crazy that you have Abdul Carter as the best player in the draft. A Penn State product, and not Will Johnson, the Michigan product. Come on now, let's get it. Unfortunately, Will Johnson is not going here. This is a little too high for him. They could really, honestly, the Giants have the freedom to do anything at this point in my draft. Obviously, it's early. They got number 3. Cam and Abdul are gone. And my boy, Travis Hunter, looks like a very good pick to slide here because, in the offseason, the Giants got not only Jameis Winston for 2 years, but also Russell Wilson for 1 year. So you got your starter, your backup secure for the next year or two. You got a pretty good defense. Who they got? Malik Neighbors at wide receiver. You're good at wide receiver. Yep. And yeah, Hunter would just help them out, but come on, Giants. Y'all got to keep up with the division. You got the Eagles, who just won a Super Bowl, Dallas, who is always going to be relevant through the grapevine, and the Commanders, who just got their franchise quarterback last year. So why not go ahead and get your franchise quarterback for the future too, and go ahead and draft Shedeur Sanders? Yeah, let them learn behind the 2 black quarterbacks.
You see, I think because they got Russell Wilson, because they also got Jameis Winston, I think that this year the Giants are like, we're just going to, they're going to kick the can down the road for the quarterback till next year. Is that the best plan? We'll see. Only time will tell. And so because of that, I got them drafting the most athletically gifted player in the draft, Travis Hunter. Come on down. You are the next player on the Price is Right. Originally, I did have them draft Shedeur, but I was like, when they got those 2 quarterbacks, I don't think they're going to add a third there. So, yeah, give me Travis Hunter. Anyways, I don't think the Giants want to take him. All right, so for the Patriots, who you got them taking?
At number 4, the most hated team in the NFL, not named the Dallas Cowboys. I have.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, not anymore, but yeah, you're right. Well, hey, I still hate New England. I don't know about y'all, but shout out to Bill Belichick for going to UNC. I just got a UNC update as I was about to say that on my phone from ESPN. I have New England. Last time I had them drafting Will Campbell out of LSU to tackle, because they didn't got I'm not gonna say they shored up their defense, but they definitely bolstered it. I mean, added a lot of VC to their defense. Okay. But they feel like they have their quarterback of the future. They need some help on offense. They like a receiver, a running back. But they're not going to go either one of them. They need to help out Drake May and get a left tackle. So last time I had them getting Will Campbell. This time I have them getting Will Campbell, because if they do anything else, they're doing him a disservice.
Well, I do believe they do. They need to help out Will Campbell. And last time I had them getting Travis Hunter, and I got him playing because in my mind he's going to play. If he got drafted by the Patriots, he's going to be playing wide receiver. But he's already been selected by the Giants in my mock draft 2.0. So might as well give him another receiver. Ted McMillan, come on down. You are being selected by the New York Football Giants. Yes, might as well make a 1-2 punch with him and Malik Neighbors. So yes, Ted McMillan. But I think I had him.
Malik Neighbors play for the Giants.
I know.
We with the Patriots.
Oh, with the Patriots. Oh, sorry. Woo, messed up.
The Giants.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Originally, I had him slated. Originally, I had Travis Hunter slated for the Patriots. Sorry, but I had him drafted going to the Giants to create that 1-2 punch with him and Neighbors. So now, but I got him going with Ted. They're trying to make a number one wide receiver out of Ted McMillan. Woo! Made that mistake. Sorry. See, there's a messed up part about mock drafts. I was looking at my old mock draft and my new one. I was looking at my mock draft 2.0 and my old one both at the same time. Man, yes, Ted McMillan, wide receiver 1 for the Patriots. We'll see what happens. All right, who the Jags picking at 5th?
Speaking of confusing themselves, the Jacksonville Jaguars have no idea what they're doing. No, I'm kidding. They just brought in a new head coach.
Duval.
Brought him in from the other part of Florida, Tampa. They need everything. They think they have their franchise quarterback. We haven't seen him done franchise quarterback things, but that's also because the roster is bad, even though it looks good on paper, even though it doesn't. Okay, right. We don't know what to do with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So when you don't know what to do, do you know what you do when you don't know what to do? You do nothing at all, because you're going to mess up if you're scrambling to do something, right? So by doing nothing at all, they're just going to sit here and pick the best player on the board. And who is that? Travis Hunter. They don't know what they're going to do with him, but he's going to do something.
And this is the point of the mock draft 2.0 where I basically copy and paste. I had the Jaguars selecting Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan. You're a Michigan man. All right. Wish he would slide to the, it'd be nice if he slided all the way to 29, but he ain't gonna slide that far. But and create a nice little Michigan 1-2 punch with him and Sanders still. But
reunited, feeling like a championship.
But I think Will Johnson is getting picked here. The Jacksonville Jaguars, like you said, they kind of need help everywhere, but might as well start with the defense. You got your franchise quarterback. At this point, there's not a receiver you really want to reach for. Anyways, Brian Thomas, the guy that you selected last year, is pretty good. You help out that defense something. Either select. They can't go wrong with either selecting Mason Graham or Will Johnson. Whichever one of those guys, you guys just choose them. All right, improve the defense. but I got them selecting Will Johnson. All right. Raiders. Who do you got? Who do you got them choosing?
The Raiders. I can't do it.
Right. Oh, because talking about Chris Byrne, the Raiders. Okay, I can't.
When I drink some water, I'll run it back and do it for y'all. But they just got a new head coach in Pete Carroll. Also, just got a new head coach in a new starting quarterback in Geno Smith, whom obviously at this whom at this point of the year, of his career, obviously we still love, if you can hear my host. But more of a stopgap. You know what I'm saying? Could have used the quarterback if the Giants wasn't greedy and got Shedeur Sanders. This could definitely be a viable spot for him. But we know some things about Pete Carroll. What are three things that we know about Pete Carroll? I'm gonna give you.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say he's old. He used to play for. He used to coach for the Seahawks, and he didn't run the ball at the 1 yard line.
Oh my! Okay. I'll give you 1.5. You were actually right on the head when you said old. I thought I was being funny when I did that. 1, he is old, but still youthful. 2, he is a Hall of Fame head coach. I would say so. 3, he loves good defense, and you know what he loves just as much as good defense.
A running game?
A running game, baby. Ding, 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 ding. Come down, Ashton Genty. You are going to be paired with Brock Bowers and Geno Smith. And I think they have Myers as receiver as well. That don't sound too terrible. Now, you do have 3 other Hall of Fame coaches in that division, so you still might be last. But getting Ashton Genty, whom probably is, I ain't gonna say best player on the board, but top 3 at this point, yeah.
We're in agreement here, KJ. Ashton Genty. Originally I had the Raiders choosing Ted McMillan here, but as in my 2.0, Ted McMillan got chosen in the 4th, top 5 pick, baby. But so I'm hearing a lot of. And the same reason why I had Ted McMillan chosen so hard because I'm hearing a lot of the Raiders and Ashton Genty might go in is a very popular spot. And like we said, knowing Pete Carroll, he's gonna want to run the football and he wants a premier running back. He had Marshawn Lynch in Seattle. He's gonna have Ashton Genty in Las Vegas. Weird, but sorry. 7, the Jets, Jets. Who are they picking at 7? Shedeur. I'm just joking. No. I'm talking about for me.
1, 2. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shedeur could go to 6 or 7 teams in the first round. It don't make no sense. How wild of a swing. He could go top 2, or he could go to 22. It's crazy. But the Jets, picking up a quarterback, sensing that they may be out of the running for one of the new ones. So they picked up my cousin Justin Fields. I'm gonna get a jersey, preferably in black. They have a pretty solid team on paper as well, with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. They could definitely give Justin Fields another weapon. But you are in a league with Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get to the quarterback, and Drake May is coming up as well. Shout out to UNC again.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to get to the quarterback. We're not really worried about Tua. But yeah, so you got Will McDonald on the defensive line. Why not just help your defensive line even more and give them the best defensive tackle in this draft, Mason Graham. Go blue.
See, I'm thinking that you would want to bustle up that offensive line with the Jets, especially with your new young quarterback. That was one of the weaknesses for the Jets, even with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm gonna give him Will Campbell, the tackle at LSU. I think I had him going this far. I had him going at 7 with the Jets in my previous mock draft. I ain't changing it up, keeping it the same, baby, keeping it the same. All right, keeping it kosher. All right, your Panthers, or David Tepper's Panthers, are up next.
That may change. They're still David Tepper's Panthers, but that may change at the end of this season when we win like 8-9 games. I might come back. I'll peep my head. But we, as probably the worst and the most up and coming team last year, not named the Commanders. We need everything, bro. We could go receiver. We could go line. We could go all type of defense. And actually, since we had the worst defense in the league last year, we need defensive playmakers. Now, our defense did get better towards the end of the season when J.C. Horn, our 6'2" cornerback, started getting more healthy and everything like that.
Didn't y'all pay him too?
Yeah, he is actually. So when we paid him, he was the highest paid cornerback ever. And then I think I can see red. I want to say the Niners didn't get a cornerback, but so whoever out there, like the day after they got paid, and now he's the highest paid. So I was like, okay, cool. I don't feel as bad. But yeah, us picking up Mo Rig from the Raiders, I think is pretty big for our defense. So, we could go Tet. We could go Will Johnson, to get that 1-2 punch at quarterback. But buddy, we need pass rushing. I don't want to take a pass rusher, but every time Carolina has been good, we have had what pass rushing with Peppers, Kuechly, Brian Burns. It don't matter. Now we have to get one of them Georgia boys, and this one I think is going to be Jalen Walker. Hopefully it's not Michael Williams. I don't know why. I feel like one of these two are going to be a flop. I hope it's not Jalen.
Well. Defense would be that'd be a nice pick for defense, but we're in an offensive league. It's all about scoring. You got a young quarterback. You're trying to put as much weapons around him as possible. All right? So it means you need O-line and you need wide receivers. All right? You need tight ends. You need to make sure that Bryce Young can score and is as comfortable as possible. All right? Then you worry about the defense. Or you be like the Bengals and never worry about the defense.
It didn't end up like the Bengals. Don't set my team up, man.
Yeah, and then the 9-8 just because your defense can't stop a nosebleed. But anyway, I had them. My original mock draft, I had them selecting Luther Burden in the 3rd. I'm keeping it. I really like this guy. I'm keeping it. I really like this guy.
Over Golden? Over Ibuka?
Yes. There's something I don't know why. Huh?
I'm listening.
I feel for some reason, I feel as though Luther Burton may be a better fit for a Bryce Young in the Carolina offense than like a Matthew Golden or than a Michael. That's just me. For some reason,
really fast. He can run routes and everything like that. He would be.
Yeah, no.
I would definitely say he would be much better than Ted McMillan for us. Even though I do want Ted, but we already have XL, and XL is getting better every year. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they would be literally the same guy. So we really need a speedster. So that will work. Yeah, it would be a little too high for my blood. Maybe we trade down to get him, but that would work.
Give me Give me Lillard Burton. Anyways, I'm not changing up my mock draft. I had y'all drafted the first time. I'm keeping it. For the sake of my mock draft, really. All right. The Saints, or the Aints, as Falcons fans like to call them.
Another Shador possibility. If he were to fall this far. The Saints need everything, look, bro. Their problem is they need everything. They're bad everywhere. Well, they need everything. They're a bad team, and they're over the cap by several $1 million. So
just sad.
They really need. They need help everywhere. They're kind of like the Panthers, but with a worse offense. Luckily, they're in the NFC South, which is the second worst division in the league. So you're not really in our division outside of the Bucks. You're not really worried about points being put up on your head like that, though it can happen, right?
True.
So instead of them going like offense or somewhere like that, I think they need to just start over, especially because their defensive stalwarts are older, like Tyrann Mathieu and Campbell and all of them like that. Not Campbell. Who they got down there? Defensive lineman with the eyes. Cameron Jordan.
Yeah. Cam Jordan.
At one point in time in the league, there was a Jordan Cameron, and I was just like, kept getting confused. But yeah, they just need to start over. And what's the best place to do? This defense wins championships. So this time they get the other Georgia boy and Michael Williams. I hope I'm saying his first name right. It's either Michael or Michael.
Well. You mentioned the Shador possibilities, and now the possibility has been realized because, as you all have heard, I have not said Shador's name because I think this is where he goes. This is where Shador Sanders goes. I believe this is the earliest that he will go. If he does not go here, I think he's going to go like 20-something. He's going to go late, but or he might even fall out of the first round altogether. I'm going to mock the Saints selecting Shador Sanders because you got a veteran quarterback in David Carr that he can just sit behind and learn and all that good stuff, so he doesn't have to feel pressure to start right away. And I think that's the best situation for Shador Sanders to be in. All right, I believe if he went to the Browns or the Giants, I think we're setting him. He's set up for failure, especially if he goes up to the Browns. But the top 10. The top 10 closes out with the Bears. And I think the Bears at 10, I think they are going to draft your Michigan guy, Mason Graham, defensive tackle. Yeah, dropped all the way to 10 in my mock draft.
Top 10s for the Michigan Wolverines. Let's get it.
Yeah, so top 10, Mason Graham, the Bears, right there. All right, who do you got them selecting? Who do you got them mocked?
Well, another team with a brand new head coach in Ben Johnson. Now, if we know two things about Ben Johnson, 3, I'll say the first thing is he just came from Detroit. The second thing is he runs good offense. And the last thing is the thing that helps him run good offense is a good offensive line. That's why this offseason they spent heavily getting like Jonah Jackson, Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, you know what I'm saying? Combined with their already good right tackle, Darnell Wright, that's only leaving left tackle open. Let's get him a left tackle, baby, and solidify that offensive line and give him Kelvin Banks Jr. If you solidify the offensive line, there is no reason outside of the defense why Caleb Williams cannot succeed better than last year.
Definitely. All right, we're Let's go ahead and go to pick 11. Yes, we're going to pick 11. Going to pick 11 with the 49ers. Who do you got them mocked?
Now, I see a lot of these players. The Niners have a lot of talent, though a lot of their players are old and injured, right? Which honestly probably played into them getting injured so much because they are old. But anyway, I never thought about that until just now. But they need help everywhere, even though they're good. Because they just jettisoned a whole half their team. So you have Brock Purdy. You're not going to upgrade at quarterback. You still have Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, who you just paid a year ago, and George Kittle, I guess. You could really go anywhere. Honestly, I wouldn't surprise me if they went defensive player. But Trent Williams, the best left tackle in NFL history, is turning 37. So
should still be in Washington, but we're not here. Thank you, Dan Snyder. Okay, keep going.
So honestly, a lot of people are really high on this offensive tackle that I'm going to give them in Armand Membow out of Missouri. But a lot of the people have them going to the Raiders, the Jets. Send them to San Fran. Have them learn on the West Side for a year.
In the West Side. Excuse me. Well, that is a great pick, but I think defense, specifically edge rusher, is a more bigger need for the 49ers at this point. And so because of that, honestly, and I just wanted to tell you, I have a lot of edge rushers mocked in this first round. Though I think that's because edge rusher is really a really strong position in this draft. So this is, huh?
You probably get an edge rusher in round 3.
Yeah. If you are in desperate need of some edge rushing help, this is the draft for you. I'm talking to you, Commanders. I'm talking to you. Even if we don't get one in the first round, we better get one in the second round. Anyway, I got them getting drafting Jalen Walker. Once again, one of the edges out of Georgia. Be a great addition, great bolster to that defense. All right, because they need it. And now we go to that team in Dallas, the Cowgirls. Who do I want them to draft? I really don't want them to reach for a punter. But,
I want them to go punter in every draft pick they got.
Yeah, punter, kicker, long snapper,
Placeholder.
Exactly. However, you got to be smart about this. You can't just, you got to be impartial. Even though I hate the Cowboys, but I'm good. But fear not, Cowgirl fans. Really, fear not. I'm not gonna have you all reach and grab Omarion Hampton with this pick because Ashton Jeanty is gone by this point in my mock. But I'm gonna give y'all some defensive help, some linebacker help that y'all need. I got y'all drafting Jihad Campbell.
Ooh.
Jihad Campbell.
Ooh.
Yes, I don't like it, but hey, y'all need help on defense, especially in that linebacker core.
And then you can move Micah permanently to pass rusher. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's actually, honestly, I've never heard that pick ever anywhere, but that sounds really solid.
Yeah, they need help on defense. Okay, good. You go.
Well, I mean, either way, they're gonna get a dynamic pick at 12.
Okay.
In the beginning, everybody had them. They were like, "Oh my God, they need a running back. They need a Ashton Jeanty." Everybody had Dallas mocking Ashton Jeanty. Honestly, if Ashton Jeanty falls to Dallas and they don't pick him, they're gonna be trash for the next 50 years. I promise you. There's no hope for them ever. Even if Jerry Jones sells the team. But Ashton Genty went to the Raiders in my draft, so that can't happen anyway. So they just signed Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders to go with. They just Doyle just had 1,000 yards last year, I think. Who is Doyle? Like what? Or Dole? No.
Oh, Rico Dowdle or something like that.
Yeah, Dowdle. Let me stop playing on his name. So I'm not gonna lie. There was one point in time I had them mock getting Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina. Mm-hmm. People calling him a great value Derrick Henry. Maybe Target brand Derrick Henry. Well, let me not shout out Target. They're not going running back. So personally, I have them. This is where Teteroa McMillan goes. So now Dallas is drafting Teteroa McMillan, the big body wide receiver, to go with a speedster, do everything wide receiver, and CeeDee Lamb. And we are obviously Dallas has been a passing team for several years. They do not prioritize the running game. They almost never do, really. Since Emmitt Smith. So yeah, I think Teteroa and CeeDee Lamb, I think that'd be a good pairing for Dak.
No problem. But we're gonna stop with our mock draft just for a moment, and we're gonna continue with 13 through 22 just in a moment. But I want to talk about before we get in, because we got a format here. All right. So before we get into that 13 to 22 range, and we're gonna kind of rapid fire off those, I want to talk a little bit about still staying in football. I want to talk about this Nico. I'm trying to say his name right. Iamaleava. I think that's how you say his name. This whole situation with him and the NIL and how he's no longer the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Volunteers because he was getting paid $2 million and they asked him for $4 million, if I'm correct. Am I correct on that, about that? If I remember correct. So, KJ, which begs the question, and I'm going to ask you, KJ, because of this whole situation, is NIL ruining college football? Because I see a lot of comments all around social media saying that the NIL is ruining it.
I believe that there is an overarching thing over NIL. I mean, honestly, no. I don't think it's ruining it. I think the overarching thing that ruined college football was the fact that they weren't paying their players to begin with. So now you got all of these years making millions of dollars off of free labor.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah, billions of dollars off of free labor. You know what I'm saying? You only racking up negative karma. So now you gotta play all these players and
it's not free labor. They get scholarship money. They get scholarships.
And this scholarships don't be paying nothing. They still got to get paid under the table just to be good. You know what I'm saying? That was funny. I mean, no, I don't think so. I cannot imagine a world in where, first of all, we live in a capitalistic society, so this is nothing but football capitalized. Y'all doing that anyway with TV deals and all of these things that these players weren't seeing in the beginning. So now that they're getting paid, you know, everybody want to. I will say that NIL has definitely diminished the value of loyalty in the NCAA, because now, you know, players can go anywhere, like literally at any time. You could win a natty and be like, okay, I want to go here.
Exactly.
So it's just like, okay, no, you know, you don't really have the little namesakes and stuff like that, but I kind of feel like this is just what you get when you have to do what you were supposed to do in the first place.
So, see, people saying that NIL is ruining college football. How oh, it's no, like they're now, they're not pros now. They're not amateurs. Here's my thing. And I said this, I believe I recorded this on a TikTok, and I'm going to say it right now again. The amateurism in college football has been dead for decades now. The moment when y'all started having primetime college football games, when y'all started when they started having press conferences, when they started when these college players started to be featured in once again in commercials and Gatorade and all this stuff, and once again was not getting paid for it. That was done by the university, but yeah, the moment that all this stuff, like, they were semi-pros for decades now. Like, think of a guy like Reggie Bush was in the mainstream media. He was in the mainstream spotlight. If he was a quote unquote amateur, that wouldn't be the case. A guy like Reggie Bush wouldn't be in national media or in the mainstream media. So these guys have been semi-pros for decades now. It's just that now, as you said, KJ, the schools cannot exploit these kids for billions of, not just millions, some millions, others billions. Because think how much Duke made off of Zion Williamson. Just think.
In 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. Think how much
his shoe got messed up. I'm pretty sure they got some money off of that.
Yeah, think how much Texas A&M made off of Johnny Manziel. Think how much the University of Florida made off of Tim Tebow.
Right.
Like, think of all these college superstars. These guys, once again, were larger than life. They were semi-pros already. They just weren't getting paid whatsoever. And so now, because of NIL, it's made a way for these guys to actually get paid while because lets them get paid while actually being in that national media spotlight. Because it's kind of messed up while you have a guy, I would say a guy like a Lamar Jackson, like a Johnny Manziel, and they get in trouble for selling their autograph. But people want their autographs. Oh my God, it's Johnny. Once again, they were larger than life. They were in the mainstream media. They were in the national spotlight. These guys were never amateurs for decades now. NIL has given them a way so they can actually profit off their name, which they should have been. It's not just the universities profiting off, because believe me, the universities are angry at NIL because they can't just once again use they can't just use the players anymore. And it gave us back college football, the NCAA.
Right.
That's the most important part.
Right. Shout out to us.
Exactly. But back on track with the mock draft. Yeah, see, right there. I told y'all we'd be back, but we just wanted to stop, just take a little pit stop. And we're going to go rapid fire to 13 through 22. All right. So we've got the Dolphins at the pick 13. KJ, who are they picking?
So, look, Holland left at safety. Armstead retires. I think protecting Tua is much more important than getting a safety. Go ahead, get Josh Simmons, offensive tackle.
All right, and I don't care nothing about protection. I care about the scoring. Give him Tyler Warren, the best offensive player in this draft. All right, 14 Colts.
This is where Tyler Warren goes. If Tyler Warren does not go here, the The draft is shambles.
The Colts already got a tight end. His name is Anthony Richardson. So I'm gonna give them Michael Williams, the other edge out of Georgia. 15 Falcons.
All right. Edge rush central. They needed an edge rusher last year. They didn't get it. They're doubling back and getting one now. Let's go, James Pierce Jr. Yeah.
Guess what? We're right here with that. James Pierce Jr., you are Atlanta Falcon. Get ready to enjoy some 7-10 seasons. All right, 16 Cardinals. Yeah, exactly. And lemon pepper wings. All right, 16 Cardinals.
All right. They need defense. Help them out. Go ahead, start off in the middle. Jihad Campbell, you, sir, are a red bird.
And you've got to protect that 13-year-old playing quarterback, Cardinals. So I've got them selecting Armand Membu, tackle. At what? The tackle out of South Carolina?
Mizzou.
No, Mizzou. Sorry. I was thinking about another.
That'll go good with that one they got from Ohio State the other year. They gonna have
exactly. Bookend tackles, baby. All right, the Bengals at 17.
Ooh, they need help. They wish they could have got Jihad Campbell. Nah, but Henderson, we don't know what he's doing with him, so let's go ahead and give them Shamar Stewart to help out that pass rush, because you do have Lamar Jackson in that league. I mean, in that division.
That Bengals defense cannot stop a nosebleed. And it's going to continue for this first round of the draft, because you need to protect Joe Burrow. So let's go, because you also don't have an offensive line, which makes his season that much incredible. And some people don't think he's actually better than Jalen Hurts. But anyway, so they're going to draft Kevin Banks Jr. 18 Seahawks.
Should have gave this one to Cincinnati, but let's go and protect our new quarterback. Tyler Booker, you are a bluebird.
Let's give him some help on the defensive end, and let's go with in my opinion, probably the only first round safety that's draftable was probably that's the second one. But I got them getting Malachi Starks, that safety out of Georgia. All right, 19 Bucks.
The Bucks need things. They are still in. I feel like sole control of the NFC South, regardless now, unless Michael Penix just goes nuts. But in the case that Michael Penix indeed goes nuts and presses the red button, Will Johnson, you are the blue button to neutralize the red button. To neutralize the red button. Let's go.
Bucks, you also need edge rushers. I'm telling you, this is the draft for edge rushers. You need edge rushers. You need an edge rusher, because Jaden Daniels in that playoff game was able to get on the edge countless amount of times. Actually, that's the reason why he lost the game. Guess what? I'm going to give you an edge rusher out of Texas A&M, the more higher rated one, Shamar Stewart, 20 Broncos.
They definitely wish that the former pony in Ashton Jeanty becomes a pony again, because they just let go of Williams and gave him to Dallas, right? Previously, well, they need help with Cortland Sutton too, but this is where my boy goes. Come on, damn, what's better than Target? Target brand Derrick Henry. Marion Hampton, you are now a Bronco. Run free, my boy.
Forget the running game. It's all about the passing game, baby. This is a passing league. It's all about the quarterbacks. Let's let it fly, and let's give you another weapon. Matthew Golden, you a Bronco, baby. With him, that duo with him and who's number 14? God, come on. I remember his name. Who's the Broncos' number one wide receiver again? How do I forget his name?
Cortland Sutton.
I'm like, how did I forget his name?
I just said his name too.
Yeah, that's messed up. All right, 21 to Steelers. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and go again. All right, 21 to Steelers. What? Wait, choose another wide receiver. It's all about the scoring, baby. It's all about the scoring, baby. Get y'all selling. I know. I understand. Y'all got. You already got.
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. But the more the merrier, baby. I'm making a book. You are a Pittsburgh Steelers. It's about Pittsburgh Steelers, especially
Metcalf, Emeka Ibuka, and George Pickens.
Exactly. Aaron Rodgers is going to be super happy. Yes, he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, go ahead.
Or Jackson Dart. But I see your zealousness. I can't give him another receiver because I don't like them. So Kenneth Grant, unfortunately, you are a Pittsburgh Steeler, buddy. You are going to help out that defense because at the end of the day, the Baltimore Ravens do have Lamar Jackson and the King, Derrick Henry. Gotta stop.
And for the last pick of this portion, because the last portion is the 23-32. All right, we've got the Chargers at 22. They need an edge rusher, especially because they got rid of Joey Bosa. So, Mike Green, baby, from Marshall. You're a Charger, man. Welcome to LA. Welcome to LA. Go ahead, KJ.
Now, Jim Harbaugh would have a blast with Mike Green, but you want to know who he would definitely have a blast with, have an explosion with? Pause. Your boy Colston Loveland, go blue. You are returning to Jim Harbaugh. This is the only pick in the 2025 NFL draft that matters to me. If Colston Loveland does not get paired back up with Jim Harbaugh, I'm going to be depressed.
And that's picks 13 to 22. We're going to end the podcast with the rest of the NFL draft, which begs the question, what are we about to talk about now? Well, didn't you hear at the beginning of this podcast that it's NBA playoff season? Yes, we're going straight to basketball. We're going back to football at the end. Yes, it's a yin, yang, yo. If you have not saw that show before on Disney Channel, I haven't either. I just know the name of it. But yes, NBA playoff season is in full effect. Like I said, we just had the 2 playing games, the 7-8 playing games. I don't understand that. I feel like they should start with the 9-10 playing games first, then go to the 7-8 playing games. But the NBA is going to NBA. All right, they're going to do whatever they want to do. All right. So, KJ, how do you think the first round is going to? How do you think the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, is going to fall out? I guess that's the word that's the only word I can think of right now.
Well, first and foremost, since we already had a couple of the play-in games, Atlanta lost. Trae Young got ejected at the end of the game for I don't know what, but still throwing temper tantrums. But the size is you're showing your size, buddy. Pause. So now you got the Magic playing the Celtics. Honestly, the whoever the 1 seeds play, it's not gonna matter. Because like we said, we thought the Warriors were gonna play the Rockets and everything like that. And who's really gonna beat the Thunder out the playing? Nobody, right? I guess we can go ahead and start in the East though. So you got Cavs playing whomever, they're gonna win. They're going on. Then you got the Celtics playing the Magic. Okay, exactly. Now, now for the games that are getting dicey, now you got the Pacers and the Bucks. I believe that Damian Lillard is still out with those blood clots. I don't think he's gonna play this season. This series. The Bucks are on a what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good Lord, hold on. An 8-game win streak, right? The last time they lost was the last day in March. They playing the Pacers though. Are they really? I'm gonna go with Giannis just because it's Giannis, right? I really feel like the Pacers have a chance of winning this series though. Now, the Knicks and the Pistons. This is the most important. This is the most fun you are going to have in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Because my boys are nasty. We're coming, even though we're a 6 seed, we play like a 3 seed, buddy. Right? we just needed time to get right. We had some people get hurt. It's cool. We collective. Cade Cunningham is going off. He is not afraid of New York at all.
He's not afraid. I'm sorry.
He's not afraid at all. Bro, I think he's averaging like 30-something points in New York. So we not really worried about him. And I don't know, man. We have a Jalen Duren. I'm going to go ahead and be a homer. I'm not going to go with the right pick. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Pistons and say New York is getting up out of here.
Okay.
And so then you would have the Cavs and the Bucks versus the Pistons and the Celtics. All right, we know how this is going to go. Then you're going to have the Cavs and the Celtics playing in the Eastern Conference. Man. The Celtics are a veteran team. They've already won a championship together. They've been to 2 finals, I believe, together. If I'm not mistaken. I could be. And the Cavs are just a hot team this year. They're like the Thunder. I'm going to get to that later. At this point, it doesn't matter because y'all going to see. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Celtics just using my head. It would be very funny to see the Cavs go to the finals, though. But LeBron not there, so I don't think the NBA is ever going to let the Cavs go to the finals without LeBron. So let's go Celtics in the finals. That's just East. What you think?
All right. So in the East, I think the East is going chalk. Yeah. By that, I'm going with the chalk. I'm going chalk with the East. I think once again the Cavs beating whoever's the 8 seed is going to get the breaks beaten off them. The only way I can see where the Cavs feel a little bit of trouble is if the Heat make it into that 8 seed, because the Heat and right now I think they're beating the Bulls by 5 or something like that. But that's the only way I can see them having But even then, I still think the Cavs should win in 5 games. But I think I got the Cavs beating any A seed by a sweep, via sweep. But yeah, once again, the only team I see them the only team I see that could take a game, maybe two, but definitely a game is the Miami Heat, and that's it. All right. Celtics, they're beating the Magic 4-1. That's how I get the
4-1.
I think it might go 6, but I think that's as far as it ever is gonna go. But yeah, I think the best series in the East is gonna be the Knicks and Pistons. I believe that's gonna be the most entertaining series, and I think that's gonna go all 7 games. It's gonna take 7 games for the Knicks. The Knicks are not going to beat them in any less than 7 games. I got the Knicks beating your Pistons in 7 games. All right. And the Pacers and Bucks, I definitely got the Pacers. I have no faith in the Bucks, because it's not just because they don't have Damian Lillard, but if you think I'm about to put my faith in a Doc Rivers-led team to make it anywhere past the second round, you're sadly mistaken. All right. So, yeah. After that, I think it's going to be, after that, what it's going to be, I think Cavs beat the Pacers handily, and the Celtics and Knicks have a somewhat entertaining 6-game series. And it's going to be Cavs and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, where the Celtics make it to the finals. So I got Celtics making it out of the East, because I just don't trust the Cavs like that. All right. I just don't. Is it the fact that they don't have LeBron? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. All right. KJ, what about the West?
Now, this is the interesting one. That's why I saved the best for last. Again, just like the 1 seeds, it doesn't matter who the Thunder play. they're probably going to win. Now it gets interesting because even though we were robbed of Steph and Bron in the first round, it's okay because there's still opportunity. Now Steph has to play the 2-seeded Rockets, so this is literally youth versus experience, which it's gonna be a tough series for the Warriors. I think the last game the Warriors played, Steph and Jimmy had like at least 34 apiece, 35 apiece. I think one had 35 and Jimmy had like 36. So they obviously, they're like what, 20-4 since Jimmy got traded there. So they're obviously a good team with Jimmy. And Jimmy, Jimmy been to the finals too. And now, we getting playoff Jimmy, which peaked his rear head in the play in. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you get playing Jimmy with Steph Curry.
Oh, what? That's all he's been missing, honestly. So you got all of that, and then Draymond. So, Jimmy is literally the glue guy because he pairs well with Steph offensively, and he also pairs with Draymond defensively really well. People not paying attention to that. So I think the combination of that and experience. I've never seen youth. Well, I can't tell you the last time I've seen youth beat experience in the first round. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with experience. Then you got the Nuggets and the Clippers. The Nuggets have been much better since firing their head coach Malone. The Clippers are the Clippers. I just seen Kawhi go off the other night. I was like, oh. But how many times is he gonna do that? I keep forgetting Kawhi's even in the league. I'm going with the Nuggets. And then you got the GOAT, LeBron James himself, and Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Versus I almost said the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis of the West. No, the Minnesota Timberwolves, bro. And Edwards. The Timberwolves finna get dogged. Rudy Gobert is finna get pick and rolled and step back three all over. Randall ain't gonna do nothing. LeBron James is gonna close games out like per usual. Luka Doncic is gonna be out here dropping high 20s and 30s. And what's his name? Austin Reeves is gonna be out here making sure everything is running to the T. Okay. Sorry about your love, Timberwolves. Lakers in 4. Nah, Lakers.
Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. So now you got the Thunder and the Nuggets. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Thunder are going to win that one. Even though the Nuggets have Jokic, the Thunder are this is their year to do really good. So I'm believing in them. I'm gonna go ahead and pick them over the Nuggets. Then this is where we gonna have. It's okay we didn't get Steph and Bron in round 1 because we gonna get it in round 2. And you know who else is gonna get it in round 2? Steph. Yeah, and Jimmy buckets. That's exactly what he finna get. Some buckets. Yep. Lakers moving on. That might be a sweep. I'm playing. That probably is gonna go like 6 games. But yeah, I got the Lakers moving on. So now you got the Lakers and Thunder. Who y'all think I'm picking? Okay, cool. Lakers and Celtics in the finals. It would have been cool. It would have been cool to see, LeBron James play the Cleveland Cavaliers and beat them in his last season, probably. But it really don't matter. You can have him versus his home team or the Lakers versus their rivals in the Celtics, which I think everybody wants to see. I think the Thunder are a very good team. Obviously, I have them beating the Nuggets, who've won championships. But I don't know. This is not youth versus experience. This is more just dominant talent, bro. Like the Lakers have the top, like 2 of the top 5 players in the league. Like, come on, bro. LeBron and Luka and a supporting cast. Okay. That's all I know.
All right, so let me tell you how the West is really going to first. God. First of all, I thought there's going to be any 8 seed in 5 games. I don't care who it is. Any combination of the 8 seed. What we've got? It's either going to be the Memphis Grizzlies, the Dallas Mavericks, or the Kings. They're going to beat any one of those teams in 5 games. All right, let's just end it right here. Not play around, not joke around. All right. The Rockets. I got the Rockets beating the Warriors in 7 games. First upset. And the funny part is that's an upset. Because people think the Warriors experience is good. No, I think the Rockets hear all the chatter. Matter of fact, I was gonna say 6 games. That's what I was gonna say 6. Because that's what I'm really feeling 6. I'm really feeling 6 to say 6. All right, because I don't think the Warriors are as good as people think they are. All right, I think they're good, but it's not because people think they are. Because I think the Rockets are hearing all the chatter. You know, when you get a young especially when you get a young team, a young, very talented team, and they feel like they're underdogs and that they are being second guessed, I think you're going to see the best. I think you're going to see the best of the best of the Rockets this series, and I think they're going to beat the Warriors. I'm going to say 7 games because of that experience of the Warriors, but really, I'm really pushing towards 6. But all right, and with the Wolves and the Lakers. I got the Wolves upsetting the Lakers. I don't know what JC. Yes, y'all talking about. Oh, Luka beat the Wolves last season once again. What did that Dallas Mavericks team that this Lakers team do not have? That's big men. That last year, that Nuggets team had a rotation of big men with Washington, with Derek Lively, and I keep on forgetting the third, and Daniel Gafford.
Cleaver.
They had those 3 rotation of big men. The Lakers do not have that.
Everybody on the Lakers is big. Besides Austin Reeves, he's kind of like.
No, I think the Wolves upset the Lakers because I really feel once again the Wolves feel like, especially young guy like Edwards feeling slighted, feeling like everybody's saying, "Oh yeah, Lakers are just gonna walk all over and walk right through them." I think. And even they're beating them in 6. Why? Because I think the Wolves take game 1 too. Book it. I said it. All right.
Okay, sir.
And with the Clippers versus Nuggets, I don't feel confident in the Nuggets. I really don't. I know the Nuggets did beat the Clippers. What, last playoffs, if I remember correctly? I believe they beat them in the last 2 playoff series. I've once again got to fact check myself. But something about this Nuggets team feels off. It feels off. I don't know what, but it just feels off. So because of that, I'm taking the Clippers. I'm taking the Clippers to beat them in the first round. I don't know. Just feel once again, this team feels off. Which leads us to the second round of the Thunder versus the Clippers. I think the Thunder beats the Clippers in a tough 7-game series, and I get the Wolves beating the Rockets in 6 games, and then I got the Thunder making it all the way to the finals. Sorry. Yeah, I got Western Conference Finals. I think it's going to be the Thunder versus the Wolves. But the Thunder beat the Wolves in 7. And once again, another tough 7-game series. So I got the Celtics and the Thunder in the finals. That's what I got. Who do I think it wins? I'm going to say Thunder. I'm going to say Thunder in 7.
If the Thunder win a title without Kevin Durant, that's just gonna be terrible for his legacy, because he already doing bad in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, speaking of Phoenix, didn't they fire their coach?
They sure did.
So how did you feel about that?
I think they fired their coach and their GM. And if I'm not mistaken, Joe Dumars just got hired as a GM somewhere, I believe. No, he got Joe Dumars is now the Pelicans president of operations / vice president. I got that wrong, but yeah, they fired. I mean, KD had an issue with the original coach, and then they fired this. What is it? This is their third coach in 3 years. Like, I hope Budenholzer is not looking good for him, even though he won a championship. I think he's been wrong twice. It's a lot of chaos in Phoenix. I think the heat is getting to everyone's head. They can't see through the dust storms. It's a lot going on now. Bradley Beal is still getting paid.
Appreciate y'all for taking that contract off our hands.
Yeah, it's not looking good. And like I said, all of these people are leaving. I think Kevin Durant is going to be the next one out. We're going to see him in Minnesota next year.
That would be interesting, very interesting. Yeah, but I do feel bad that Coach Bud got fired. I mean, like we said before on this podcast, when he got fired from the Bucks, it felt like he got wronged, and now he got wronged the second time because all he did was all he could do. Like, that roster wasn't his fault.
Right. All
he could do was coach with the roster that he could, and he had to deal with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker all being out at all that different times. Like, they never really played together. So I don't know. That firing was kind of messed up. I'm like, bro, like, that wasn't his fault. Like, Phoenix was a mess when he got there. It's like asking somebody to clean up all this dirt off the ground with just like a thin napkin. Like, what do you expect? It's still going to be a mess.
Hey,
so
he knows the life of a black head coach in the NFL.
But yes. Now that we've talked about a little bit about the basketball, and we'll go and leave that there. Once again, I believe the playing games are still happening. It's the Heat versus the Bulls happening right now. I don't know what the score is at this moment. I'll update y'all probably at the end of this podcast, probably. But let's go ahead and finish out our mock draft 2.0. KJ, we are going 23-32. Let's do another rapid fire to end this podcast off with a nice little bow. All right. Really, we end the podcast. So, like we always say, we're the last second challenge. But anyway, let's go ahead. 23 Packers. Who are they getting?
They need defense. They need also offense in terms of receivers. But they are getting Jahdae Barron, cornerback, to bolster their secondary.
You said they need offense. They don't have to. There's not any wide receivers I got him drafted, but guess what? There's a tight end, and he's from Michigan, Colston Loveland. He sounds like the perfect Packer tight end. I am sorry. He just sounds right. I don't know why. It does. All right, 24, the Vikings. Who they got? Who they picking?
Back-to-back defense. We're going Malachi Starks, safety.
I also believe they also need help in that defensive backfield as well. Except I'm not going safety. I'm going corner. Give them Jahdae Barron, the cornerback out of Tejas. All right. Because, they need help on the defensive end. I'm just saying. At least they drafted Dallas Turner last year, and they did what the Falcons should have done. But anyway, 25 Texans.
Reunited, then it feels so good. Emeka Ibuka.
Oh, I like that. They do need some on the wide receiver, especially because that Tank Dell injury. Though I think there's another player on the offensive side at Ohio State that they can draft, and that is Josh Simmons, offensive tackle. That's right. Yeah,
Makes sense. Especially
because they just traded away Laramie Tunsil, their left tackle, might as well replace it. You got to replace that left tackle. And the offensive line wasn't good. Was struggling to begin with. Right. So the Rams, who they get?
They could go receiver here because they just got rid of Cooper Kupp, but they are going defensive tackle and getting Derek Harmon out of Oregon.
I also got them going defense, but let's get them a weapon in the defensive backfield. Maxwell Harrison, cornerback. You welcome to LA. Welcome to LA. All right. The Lions.
Baltimore Ravens.
Huh? Oh yeah, you're Ravens. Sorry. Ravens. Sorry. I looked at the wrong number when I was in my notes.
I'm dead. I'm glad that I blurted out. But yeah, my Baltimore Ravens, we could use a number of things. Of course, we could always use another receiver. Of course, we could always use an offensive lineman. Of course, we could always use another edge rusher. But you know what we're going to go? We're going to go out there and get, my Carolina Panthers got a 6'2 cornerback.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there and get a 6'2 safety from South Carolina named Nick Iamaleava to pair him with, what's my boy name? Kyle Hamilton. And let him do all the crazy gadget stuff that he does, and Nick and my Warriors out here flocking in the back, baby. That's what we do. Flock in the backfield.
Well, I'm gonna give your Ravens some help in the defensive backfield as well by giving them Azarae. I think that's his name, Azarae Thomas, the cornerback.
Yeah.
Give y'all some both up, but I do like that. That safety pick. Either way, you need help in the defensive back. All right. And you might want to also probably think about getting a wide receiver. But anyway, 28 Lions. Who they getting?
They need a running mate. The big lion, Hutchinson. Big Michigan man himself. State and college. They need him a running mate, man. I'm going to go ahead and get them Nick Skirton. Nick Skirton.
And I've got the Lions drafting Donovan Ezekiel. I think that's how you say his name.
Ezekiel?
Yeah, he's the edge rusher, right? Yeah. Yeah, they need some help on defense, okay? Especially after you let a rookie quarterback score 45 points on y'all with only one good wide receiver in a very below average offensive line. You need help on the defensive. I'm just not to make fun of you, Lions, but I'm just these are the facts. My Commanders have a below average offensive line with only one good wide receiver, and we scored 45 points on y'all. Okay, take away that defensive touchdown. 38 points on y'all. Still. It's not supposed to happen. Speaking of my Commanders, who you got us choosing?
I got y'all getting defensive help on the edge and going ahead and get Mike Green out of Marshall.
Ooh, I would like that pick. But for me, he's already been chosen, and we need help on the defensive line. We need help everywhere. Okay, we're another team. We need help everywhere still. Though I really feel like we need to go into the offensive guard. We need some guards. So I got us drafting the highest rated guard that ESPN had. This is by ESPN rankings, all right? Not my own. The highest rated guard by ESPN rankings. Tyler Booker, offensive guard, out of Alabama. Come on, we're in the same division of the Philadelphia Eagles, who have Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter in the interior of that defensive line. We need some good interior pass blockers. All right, pass blockers and not run stuffers, and interior run guys who can run block, interior run blockers. So yeah, give me Tyler Booker, the offensive guard at Alabama. All right, who are the Bills at 30? The team that houses my MVP. My MVP, the official league and reigning league MVP, Josh Allen. But go ahead, KJ.
That was so last year. I'm gonna go ahead and give them Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss.
I'm going to give them a different defensive tackle. Your Michigan guy, Kenneth Grant. All right, and now the Chiefs. Who they select?
They need that. They need offensive line help like it ain't nobody business. Way worse than us. They're gonna get Josh Cornerly Jr.
All right, and we are seeing eye to eye on this pick because I also got them selecting John Corley Jr. Yeah, that Super Bowl really showed that. Yeah, they need some help. And the Eagles, the Super Bowl champions. Who are they selecting at 32?
Now, I initially have them getting Trey Amos or maybe Mason Graham, tight end out of LSU. You know what I'm saying? They really have everything. They don't really need anything. But now, as of like 3-4 picks ago, I realized Matthew Golden did not go anywhere in my draft, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him to Philly, so they can have that 1-2-3 punch.
Well, the one weakness on that defense was edge rusher, and so because of that, we're gonna end this draft with an edge rusher because in a first round full of edge rushers, you might as well end with one. I got them drafted Nick Scorton, edge rusher out of Texas A&M, and that concludes our mock draft 2.0. Is everything going to happen the way me and KJ predicted it? Probably a few picks we got right, probably a few picks we got wrong. Who knows? We're just excited because this is a big weekend for sports. For me, as a sports fan and a professional wrestling fan, this is a big week because, like I said, I'm going to be watching NBA playoffs. I'm going to be watching WrestleMania, and I'm going to be watching the NFL draft next Thursday. So it's going to be very exciting, very exciting. But let's go ahead and wrap this podcast up like we always do with our last second shout outs. So KJ, who in the sports world do you have to shout out?
I'm going to go ahead and shout out a man by the name of Charlie Ward. I don't know if y'all remember him, Heisman winning trophy winner who also went to the NBA from Florida State. He's circling back to sports and now is the Florida State head coach, basketball.
And my shout out goes to Paige Beckers for being the number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. This should be a surprise to nobody unless you've been living under a rock or you just time traveled here from 2000 BC. So yes, Paige Beckers, number 1 overall pick. Congratulations. And she also won the national championship. So solidifying herself as a UConn great. So once again, shout out to you, Paige Beckers. But that's all the time we have, folks. You've been now tuned into, MC Ron and his co-host.
Your guy, Zen on Ken.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be on the podcast and talk your sports stuff with the best in the business, that is me and my co-host KJ. All you have to do is one of two things. Either send an email to keepingit10toesdown@gmail.com. That is keepingit10toesdown@gmail.com. Or send us a direct message on Instagram. That is at keepingit10toes. That is at keepingit10toes. Woo, I am excited for WrestleMania weekend. I'm going to be in Albany, but I'm still going to be watching WrestleMania on my iPad, but it's okay. But I'm also excited for the draft and some playoffs. And by the way, last time I checked, because I said I was going to update you all on the game between the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls, Miami is beating the Chicago Bulls in the second quarter, 47-30. So most likely it's going to be the Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks for I feel like this is for the umpteenth time in the play-in tournament. I really feel like that matchup has happened like 3 years in a row already. I believe. Well, if the score holds like the way it's supposed to, because especially nowadays in the NBA, 30-point leads disappear just like that. So, but that's all the time we have, folks. You all have a great day, a great night, and enjoy WrestleMania weekend and play in the NBA playoffs.
The sun is under my feet and I come in peace to compete. I don't run if you athlete. My statistics go up in weeks and I go visit the nearest creek and I get busy. Yo, mini MC really ballistic. Anybody can see any assistance. Everybody to see some persistence. Breaking out, I be really too vicious. The permanent beast and the demolition. Breaking up the street, better partition. Better dot your T. Hannibal mention. How the all you see. Putting my dick in the rap industry. Everybody bitching, getting mad at me. Recognize Kendrick in a battery. And I'm charged up in a catastrophe. It's charged up in audacity. Y'all fucks never gonna hassle me and y'all